to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to thank you for taking this opportunity to watch our videos and to thank all our subscribers and those who support this channel in one way or the other. After the Kenya Kwanza team bulldozed the Finance Bill 2023, the impact is being felt, and local investors and businessmen have told William Ruto that they have just begun downsizing, and this means that they are now going to kick out many who are employed. And you know what that means? Because the government already is unable to employ several Kenyans, because the statistics shows that the rate of unemployment is just too high, and there is no hope, there is no light at the end of the tunnel. One of the local businessmen, Mr. Buzeki Bundotich, revealed this. He took to his Twitter handle and said that due to the rise in VAT on fuel from 8% to 16%, we are now officially downsizing with immediate effect. The current administration seems to lack a plan for job creation and is solely focused on collecting revenue for expenditure. All old trucks, including those with Euro 3 and below, will be sent to the scrapyard. Leteni lori ya dhitima. Ezekiel is a billionaire. He owns large trucks and is in business. He vied for the Western Gishu gubernatorial seat. He never succeeded. And of course, some of Kenyans treated this tweet as one that is full of personal vendetta against William Ruto, because many believe that William Ruto never gave him a UDA ticket that is almost automatic in the Rift Valley, that if you have the UDA ticket, you secure a seat. But I don't want us to get to the political side of it. Whether they've got personal vendetta against each other is something that we don't want to discuss. What I want us to delve in is the economic facts around the tweet that Bundotich gave. And of course, just to start us off, I want you to see some of the replies. And one of the serious guys replied. Honorable William Kabogo, who is a former governor of Kiambu, went to this tweet and he said just one or two words. He said, "It's not a joke, bro." That is what he told Buzeki. It is like he concurs. He's in agreement that those who are now in business will be compelled to downsize, will be compelled, however sad it is, to send people back home. Others really felt that read mischief. There's a guy here who was asking Ezekiel that, so you are downsizing even before the impact of the proposed tax is felt, which means the projected increase in fuel prices is not the real reason for downsizing. This guy feels that Buzeki should wait until we feel the real effect of the increment in the VAT on fuel products. But Ezekiel is telling him that business is not charity. If the maths is not adding up on paper, funga. Because I think he's acting with the projection. He knows very well that this is not going to work. That's what he's telling. Another guy called Kiprono really feels that Ezekiel only wants to expose William Ruto. And this is what he told him, that you're a sellout. You sold out Molo milk for tender in SGR project. Wewe ndio ulileta hii madeni tuko nayo. And then Ezekiel told him, we uliuza akili. Apparently, I think Buzeki used to own that Molo milk, and then he sold it, and this guy is alleging for him to get a contract at the SGR. Now, it's a push and pull. Those are pro and against William Ruto. And as I said, this is not something that I want to delve in, the political part of it. Now, if you think that maybe Buzeki is exaggerating, look at the headline that was made a few days ago. Report reveals why investors are fleeing Kenya. This is now international news because it was revealed that investors no longer find Kenya as a safe place for doing business. And you see, when it is unsafe for international investors, then it means that even the local investors would not find it pacifying to conduct business. And on this, I want to assure you that Buzeki is not only playing cheap politics, but he is revealing what most businessmen are going through. When the businessmen and investors and employers are suffering, employees will equally suffer because it is a win-win situation. I have always said here that the government that we have in place does not care about the hustlers, because at a time when Kenyans are feeling the pain of high cost of living, the government continues to even tighten the nuts. By passing the Finance Bill 2023, surely this was the last nail on the coffin. We already know that the unemployment rate is really high. Kenyans don't have jobs. The Kenya Kwanza team, while campaigning last year, assured Kenyans that they had a plan to give a safe haven for businessmen, including the SMEs, and they had a plan to attract even more investors. Now the opposite is happening. In fact, many hustlers are wondering whether this is the same government that they elected. When we have an increment in the cost of fuel, it affects the cost of production, the cost of transport, and this means that even by the time the product reaches the consumer, it is already burdensome. And even to the employers, they will not be able to cope up because already they are tolerating even the situation. The cost of electricity is even higher. And then there are several taxes to the employers. Let's even look at the simplest one, where they're saying that you will be paying for an employee 1.5% on housing. Something that most employers told the government that they should wait. This is not the right time. So both the international investors and the local investors are fleeing Kenya, or they are closing their businesses, and they are rendering many Kenyans jobless. The best thing that William Ruto should have done would have been to create an environment for investors, so that those, because the private sector employs more than 70% of the employees. I think the government only employs about 10%. So if you don't give them a conducive environment, then you render more people jobless. Already the wage bill, even for the county government, the national government, is overstretched. That means they no longer even employ. Instead, they even want to release more people. The IMF is stiffening its conditions, and very soon William Ruto will be retrenching people in parastatals and in governments. And so the best thing that he should have done would have been to support these private investors by reducing the cost of doing business, the cost of electricity, the cost of taxation. If this is not going to happen, then business is going to continue to be very difficult to undertake in Kenya. The weakening Kenyan shilling is also being mentioned as part of what is making investors to flee. And all this surrounds the fact that the cost of doing business is just too high. And recently, it is said that investors withdrew their money from the Nairobi Security Exchange, Nairobi Stock Exchange. And this government will really feel the pain of poor policies. When they feel this pain, they continue to tax because they don't have money. When investors are withdrawing their money, withdrawing their funds, they continue to tax the common man. This is the reason, ladies and gentlemen, why when Raila calls for maandamano, this time round, hustlers are going to lead from the front, because they now see the sense of electing a government that has got their interest at heart. The good thing now, I think most Kenyans, save for a few, have unmasked and packaged the lies that is full of this Kenya Kwanza team. And they understand that this time round, blame game will no longer work, more promises will no longer work, and they understand that the government really hoodwinked them. It was full of fallacy during the campaign. So I know Buzeki represents many businessmen, he represents many investors who will soon close down, who will soon send employees home. And you can imagine how life is gonna be if we are where we are now and that bill has not even taken effect. What is the cost of sugar, the cost of unga? All this, they say that there will be a reduction, yet they continue to skyrocket. I mean, it is very, very pathetic. A lesson to all of us: when you are given a situation, when you are given a golden opportunity to elect our leaders, let us choose very carefully. I don't know what to think, but this is my take, ladies and gentlemen.